What is up, everybody? Matt Oak with VYPE here, and I'm here with my old coach from Kingwood Park. He's now at Cinco Ranch, Coach Ryan Searle. Funny enough, even his assistant was my old coach, Coach John Trotner. So one of his assistants, I should say. So we're getting ready for the playoffs, and y'all had a heck of an introduction, uh, defeating Seven Lakes in the final game of the season, the reigning champs. I know you did say it was a little bit more of a relaxed game since the district had already been decided. However, that should kind of help out confidence for your team. So tell me, what is the mindset heading into round one of this postseason as you return to the playoffs?
Our mindset is just game at a time. Our focus is get to regional finals, try to get to state. So we're just doing game at a time, take each opponent one by one, and hopefully ride the wave of that last win and keep it moving for the next 7 games because it takes us 7 games to get to state. So that's what we're looking forward
Definitely,
to.
definitely. Do you know who you're playing first by any chance?
Uh, Fort Bend Hightower will be our first game.
All right.
It'll be at home. Be at Cinco Ranch. We had an agreement with. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah.
School
We had
bell.
an agreement. We had an agreement with Fort Bend that if you went 1 or 2 seed, you got home field advantage. So we went 2 seeds, so we had that home field advantage. So we're playing at Cinco Ranch tomorrow at 7 p.m. So
All right. I mean, that's got to be nice not having to travel too far. So, I mean, y'all are 13-3-4, got a heck of a, I mean, second in one of the lowest districts in the state. They're up there with all those Dallas teams, like maybe Dripping Springs as well. But so tell me, you kind of mentioned this in last year's playoffs. Uh, for the fact that this district is so loaded, like any team could potentially win and get into that 4, 3, and 2 seed. Tell me, how do you think that has prepared this team, the Cougars, for the postseason?
our district is unbelievable with talent across the board. We have players. I mean, like every team, we have players like playing in Europe, like going to Europe for trials. So, like every game, you just have to be mentally focused, mentally ready. And if you don't come that way, anything could happen. I mean, I said like last year. I mean, our district in the sense that you look at Maid Creek and Ward, and you look at their records, but you look at their preseason and everything like that. They win and then they get to our district. And I mean, it's just one of those games. It's just like, I mean, if you just mess up once, I mean, they're going to finish. And that's the thing is like, you just have to, our boys, they understand they have to be mentally focused, mentally ready every game. If not, then, you're going to drop points and that prepares you for playoffs because that's what playoffs is. It's just like you have to be mentally ready and mentally focused because it could be potentially your last game, for the season. So, it's one of those things that's why KDIC has been so successful in playoffs is because our district just really prepares us in that way.
That makes sense. I mean, being in the same district as the reigning champs for 6A speaks for itself, and you'll have to play them twice a year. And I mean, heck, I mean, Tompkins, you got Jordan. I mean, even like you said, Morton Ranch and Maid Creek, they could potentially bring the competition and upset. But now that you are in the postseason, what do you think the strength of this organization has been? I mean, you've been there for the last 3 or 4 years, if I'm not mistaken.
3 years. This has been my
3 years.
third year. Yeah.
So, in that your experience, what do you think the culture, perhaps, like I said, strength has been the emphasis for the Cinco Ranch Cougars?
It's family. I always push family, work for each other. It's you're the one playing the game, so you have to be the one to, fight for each other and just really support each other on the field and off the field. So that's been our strength especially this past season. We really lost some. We lost our goal scorer last year, so we had some players had to step up. Danny Vargas was our goal scorer last year, so and he was 4-year starter, broke the district career scoring record in our district. So we had someone had to step up and take those roles and be more responsible in the goal scoring. And I think Andres Ria stepped up this year. He has 11 goals in district. So he's a junior. So he's one of our top goal scorers. And, we have other players contributing around. Everyone knows that they have a role, they have a job, and they just need to accomplish it.
Yeah, I mean, you still got Ocean Elkstrom
Yeah.
as he was one of your key defenders last year. He's probably been your anchor, I'm assuming, in that
Yes.
back line. You gotta, but that's what I was just about to ask. Like, who do you think's some of your key contributors have been. Like, since you did have Vargas graduate, you have a few other graduating pieces, and it's more of like, I believe, perhaps not a rebuilding mentality. It's more like a reloading mentality.
Yes. Uh,
And go ahead.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think you're right. It's just like a reloading, just people just taking that responsibility. They know the role. They just need to, fill it. So, yeah, we had OC coming back, which is good. But I mean, the rest of the and Andres Ria was coming back. Miguel was coming back. Those are kind of my top guys that were kind of coming back. Ronan in the middle. But then some other guys had to shift around. I had to. One of my starting midfielders is now the center back with OC from last year and stuff like that. We did have some move-ins that helped out this year too as well. So that's always a plus when you're, KDISD. You always get these people who want to come here and play some soccer because they know the soccer culture is really good. So that always helps out every year as well. So
Yeah, and I can understand that. We did have a bit of that back in Kingwood Park way back when. I feel old now that I see all these kids growing up. Like, and I mean, I'm only removed from high school. Well, then again, I'm graduated in 17, so it has been a while. But it is. I like the atmosphere that is growing in the soccer culture in Texas. I think that is a point of emphasis that I really appreciate, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that transpire down the line. I'm gonna be in Georgetown, so I mean, who knows? Y'all might be there in April once it comes around, but yeah, like you said, one game at a time. But anyway, thanks so much for your time, Coach. We're wishing you all the best of luck, and it should be really interesting to see how this plays out.
yeah, thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
No problem. Go get
Yep.
them.